Well, hello there and happy 2022. Let's start new videos and also expand to other topics. And along those lines, I've been thinking about starting a series about why I like sci-fi. And you might think there's a lot of people who like sci-fi. What is so special about it? A lot. In this first episode or introduction, I don't know how this is going to play out. But as a bigger picture, at a higher level, what sci-fi did for me was reshape my brain, gave me a path to follow in life, gave me hope that there was a world out there, a way better than the one I was growing up in, and ultimately shifted my beliefs. Bear with me in this series, and I'm going to explain everything from which were the first shows that I like and how my young brain from preschool up to now in my 50s have been changing thanks to this. So let's start with episode 1, the seeds. Just to put things in perspective, I was born in a place and time of what was still an agricultural setup. The town where I was born and raised was a sugarcane plantation with a refinery and a rum distillery, and not a lot of industry except for a chemical and a power plant in the town next door. This was early 70s. Aside from that, there was of course the Catholic upbringing, so that was your leisure activity, your social, your entertainment, your life. That was the so-called good part of everything. So it's a culture of punishment and believing in martyrdom and suffering, but above all, unworthiness. As a girl, the way to build myself up to be worthy of anything was to learn how to do the things of the house, being a good housewife, and of course a mother. And do everything as the church dictated in the hope that when I would die, I would get rewarded with heaven, right? Nothing complicated, the path has been dictated to you. When I'm saying all this is to put things in perspective, not to complain nor accuse. So aside from the real life, there was TV. Limited, just the choices, whatever the local TV stations will offer in their lineup. And such a thing as watching TV 24 hours or things like binge watching that we have now, that was impossible. Anyways, you know the 70s. However, that was the activity that caught my attention and my energy, because it was way better than the ones I was experiencing and look ahead to. Yes, in that activity there was still the news, but those are things that kids don't care for, and the soap opera, so were the tragic human interest tales and movies. But the word that really got my attention in that activity was the word shown in sci-fi shows. Everybody around me called it fantasy, stupid fantasies, or waste of time, because again, it's not your reality. It's something made up. That wouldn't teach me the essential skills, cook, clean, being a mother. That word didn't exist. But that word that didn't exist was perfect for me. To dream or fantasize that there could be a day where you could live and work in the moon, or another planet, maybe commute, or meet aliens. I mean, before I was 9 years old, I was obsessed with UFOs, not the crew, but the fact to be able to do things like teletransportation, flying in ships as big as cities, have remote communications. My only thoughts, my belief became as a 5-year-old that by the time I grew up, I will live in that kind of world. The world where you can explore many others, get to know different types of people. I didn't know those were species. To me, whether people were white or red or green or black or whatever, became something mundane and a no, never mind. Because when you can find all the species that have advanced civilizations, but above all, again, for me, as a girl whose only aspiration would have been to become a good wife and mother, because I would have been worthy of a decent life going that way, when instead I was able to dream to be a scientist or a fighter pilot, though I didn't know what was a fighter pilot back in the day. But to be able to travel, whatever, and be some sort of archaeologist and not be subject to the limits of currency or gender appropriate roles. To me, that was the world I wanted to live in. The one I put in my vortex using today's law of attraction language. That was my reality. That was my early memory and my first shift in beliefs that there had to be a better world or reality. So that's enough for today. A lot to think of, and I'll be happy to take your questions. But I do have one for you, and it goes together with a price of 50% of my basic crystal healing course. What was the first sci-fi show I watched or have memory of? I'll give you a hint. It's not an American show. Email me with the answer. It's in the link below, ileana@everydaycrystalmagic.com. This offer is good until there are any winners, so I will not reveal the answer in the next episode. As always, check the links below for free courses and downloads. And until next episode, be well, have some fun, and do some magic, and keep dreaming. See you in the next one.
I'm alive in the nighttime. Something about how we dance in the moonlight that